Hey everyone, this is Wei and welcome back. Let's do some tree drawings and I'm going to show you some quick and easy ways so you can draw any kind of tree even without reference. So let's get started and I'll talk about the process along the way. Alright, so let's draw some trees and it's actually really simple. The main thing is to remember is that you don't want to do a lot of details. So, alright, so let me just start off with a tree trunk. Just kind of show you how simple you can shade something like this. And I'm not going to go off on any kind of reference. I just kind of want to draw something. Let's just say, I don't know, the light's coming from this side. So, and here's the tree trunk. And just remember, it's kind of like a cylinder, okay? So, with a cylinder, the light is coming from this side. Here's your terminator. This part is going to be dark, and this part's going to be darkest. And it kind of fades out a little bit, right? And right here on the back, it's just basically just reflective lighting. So it's pretty much the same for a tree trunk, right? So here is the terminator here. So the light's coming for this way. And then we can start shading this black. And of course, you want to make the tree a little bit more interesting. So let's start out, just drawing a little bit more dynamic shading. And let's just say there's some grooves in here, right? Some texturing going on, so you can just kind of like wiggle in different directions so you can get some nice texturing. And let's say right here, maybe even some other grooves going on in there. And if you keep your strokes kind of small, because again, the tree is a very big object, right? And we're drawing it at such a small scale. You don't want to make very big strokes, because if you do, then things look small. But if you make like small little strokes like this, let's say I do this here, some little shape here, maybe a little bit of bump here. All of a sudden it feels like there's something there, right? So that's how you kind of draw this kind of stuff where it's very large and you're drawing at a very small scale. So keep your stroke small. Okay, let's just say, okay, let's add a little bit more bumps here. As we get down to the root, maybe we can see some of the roots coming in, into the ground. And here, okay, let's just say that's the grass or something like that. So now you can start feeling the shape of the tree, right? This trunk. So here's the terminator. Let's just exaggerate that a little bit, just makes it a little bit more interesting. And again, all this part right here is going to be reflective lighting, right? This is the back part. So let's just, all right, let's just keep going. So now we have the trunk here. Now this might be a really funny tree because I'm just gonna draw some limbs right here. Okay, let's just say there's a big, okay, let's make it chopped off. All right, let's just say, so here's the bottom. So it's gonna be a little bit darker. And again, I'm shading a little bit, just adding a little bit more interest to it, right? Let's just say this was chopped off. And then let's just keep going. All right, let's make some limbs that are not chopped off. So we're gonna keep going up. Again, short strokes, right? Light's coming from this side, and so I'm just gonna, we can actually make a little bit more limb. So that's the cool part about, drawing these kind of trees. It's like, you just kind of keep going, It's like, what do you want to do? Okay, let's just do that. Now, as we go up, there's gonna be obviously more and more foliage. So it's like, how do we, depending on what kind of tree you want to do. So I'm just gonna go, I don't know, it's just in general, right? Let's say if there's this big clump right here. So you have to treat this kind of like as a big round area, right? Kind of like a big, I don't know, like almost like a puff of cloud or something, right? So the light's coming here this way. So I know this is a lot of part. This is gonna be light, and then in here it's gonna be darker, right? So you can actually draw. Let's just say, so to make the leaves come up white, what you need to do is to shade in areas that are dark, and automatically, like if I do this, all of a sudden, it feels like there's some leaves down here, up here, right? So that's really how you want to approach drawing trees. It's just, if it's dark, it's just underneath right here. All right, so I'm just gonna shade it a little bit, making it a little bit lighter here, just so I can get maybe some atmosphere effects. And let's just say, okay, there's some leaves down here, up here, and then maybe there's some openings here, so you can, right? So now it looks like there's a clump here and there's a clump here. And let's just say, all right, there's another clump here. Okay, so this is very general shading for a tree. There's nothing, I don't even know what the shapes of the leaves are, but again, if you're drawing a specific type of tree, then you know what the shapes are, and you can actually get that in. So I'm gonna keep this upper part a little bit lighter. Okay, so if this is this tree here, then that means this branch will be a little bit darker. So I can make this a little bit kind of in the shade, right? So by making this dark here, now it feels like, there's definitely light coming from this side. So that's how, drawing these leaves work. It's really just a play in light and dark, So it's like I do this right here. All right, let's extend this out a little bit. Let's say I go do something like this. I can actually make a little bit more tree coming out of here. Oh, sorry, that wasn't in frame. So you can just kind of keep going. Of course, you want the shape of the tree to be a little bit more dynamic, or at least semi-realistic, right? So that you don't get some crazy proportions going on. All right, so that's, some of the, well, let's just, what should we do? Or let's keep going with this tree then. Let's say, well, how we end up with this, kind of tree we end up. So let's say, I don't know, let's just do a little bit more, maybe these kind of draping, kind of like vine, those kind of like a fern look to the leaf foliage. So if we do this, we can just kind of do something like this, right? Again, not a lot of detail, keeping my strokes very short. You notice how short my strokes are. I didn't go like this. I kind of wiggle a lot. Okay, very important for drawing this kind of stuff, to keep the scale. Okay, so let's just say, I don't know, another branch here, maybe a little bit more foliage here. Okay, so this side would be a little bit darker because you're hitting, more the, getting a lot of sunlight here. So if I'm hitting here, you might cast some shadows down here. So I can actually do this, let's say onto the trunk. And just by doing this, all of a sudden it really starting to feel like there's sunlight coming through here, right? So very important. It's really just a play on shadows and stuff. It's not complicated at all. I mean, all right, let's do a little bit more. I don't know what other kind of stuff to do on this tree, but let's just say, I don't know. All right, let's just keep going. Maybe like a bonsai thing. How does this bonsai thing go? Let's say if you're doing this, let's just try it. Let's see how it looks. All right, so here's a branch. All right, so I don't know, how does this bonsai tree looks? It's kind of like a small tree, I guess, right? Maybe like a saucer shaped kind of foliage. So the bottom is darker here, and then you have the bright area on the top. Yeah, this one doesn't come out as good. Well, let's see if I do a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. Let's say there's another top area here, so it's gonna cast some shadows on this part. That might give it some more life. Let's just say another branch here. Again, I'm just kind of improvising, all right? I mean, I know this is not a real tree, at least not a complete tree. All these different parts. Okay. All right, so this is, I don't know where this is going. What should we do on the top? All right, let's just keep going to the top. Let's just do a little bit more trunk work. The trunk is cool. I actually do enjoy drawing these tree trunks. So like here, let's just make some more branches coming out. Let's make this darker. Okay. Let's say, okay, we have this one right here. This is gonna catch a shadow, right, onto this thing here, onto the trunk here. Let's make this a little bit darker. Again, I'm trying to keep it consistent to what I've drawn and see if anything good comes out of it. Okay, so this goes up, and let's just say, I don't know, some more little leaves. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do some individual leaves. Like, let's say, there's a branch coming out here, and then we're gonna have some leaves. So we can simplify, let's just say this, this, this. We can actually draw some of it, but keep it varied, okay? So it's like, here's some dark ones and here's some lighter ones, because they're all at different angles, right? And even for the branch, if I do like a lighter branch right here, it looks like it's going off into a different direction, right? So here's some lighter leaves, maybe some darker ones here. And, you know, depending on where the leaf is facing, you know, it gets very different kind of shading. So if you want to do that, you can also do this, you know, just kind of, but just make sure to just vary it. Not too much, right? So you just kind of vary. You can do something like that. There's some more branches coming up. And then let's just let's see, for more interest, let's just say, you know, there's some branches here on the back. We can actually do some more and just kind of make it dark, right? Just kind of wiggle it like this. Dark, dark. So we can keep these on the background. We can either make it dark or light so that we give it some kind of atmospheric effect. Okay. And then the ground, okay, that's about it. I don't know, not much to ground. So I know this is a funny looking tree, but it's actually kind of cool, right? It's like, you know, if you're gonna draw this, you don't need a lot of reference. Just try it on your own, you know, just try it and visualize pretty much this as a cylinder. Okay, get the terminator, define your light source, start drawing out branches, you know, keep your strokes very short, find areas of clumping, and then try to shade other than the white areas, right? Try to just shade behind it, and then all of a sudden, you know, the leaves will come out from in the white areas. So yeah, this would be my tree demonstration. Actually, I used to doodle with this kind of stuff because it is kind of fun, and you come up with different things. So hope you guys find this kind of stuff useful, and it is, you know, it's a little bit more relaxed. And again, don't go for the little details, you know, just draw it and try to shade it, keep your strokes small, and you'll be amazed you know, how lively your tree can be. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please do give me a thumbs up and check out my other videos, and I will see you next time.